I'm a nerd. 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 I'm a geek. 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 I'm a nerd. Nerd. I'm a nerd. Geek. 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 I'm a geek. Nerd. I'm a nerd. Nerd. I'm a nerd. Geek. 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 I'm a geek. Nerd. Get swag. Super hella geeked up.
What's happening? Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome. First off to 2018, as is this the first episode of the year. And welcome to Urban Nerd Weekly podcast, first centered on nerd-centric things of all kinds, shapes, sizes, and sorts. I am your host, Space. Welcome everybody to Urban Nerd Weekly. Like I said, thank you for joining me once again. I thank everybody who's been watching the past couple of episodes, and I'd like to thank you for joining me again. If this your first time, appreciate you. Glad to have you around. If you don't know, subscribing to the show is incredibly easy. One of the main ways is iTunes. That's everybody's favorite. You can either search the show on iTunes, or you can go to my website, or if you're on SoundCloud and you're on follow me on SoundCloud and you want to follow me on iTunes, the iTunes link is in the show. You can also follow me on Google. You can also follow the show on Google Play Music. You can subscribe there, as well as Stitcher, TuneIn, Spreaker, all the major podcast directories. You can usually just search Urban Nerd Weekly and subscribe. And of course, show is hosted on SoundCloud, so you're gonna always just follow the show on there. Well, let's get into the nitty gritty. There's been a lot going on the last couple of weeks, with it being the holiday season. So, of course, I didn't have a chance to cover everything that's been going on in the last episode or the one before that. But one of the biggest nerd news, we're getting into the nerd news right now, hashtag nerd news. One of the bigger stories lately is Apple slowing down their phones. Now, to be frank, this isn't the first time this has ever been thought of, This isn't a mind-blowing concept. Most people, the general public, would be under the consensus that we do believe that phone companies purposely slow down their older model phones in order to entice, aka bully you, into buying into their newer product, which is faster and better. But it only sometimes seems that way, because if you got an older phone and it just suddenly starts going slower, then of course it's going to make you want to get a new one. So, with that being said, a lot of people, Apple wasn't excluded from, the belief of this practice. So, of course, when people start talking about it, it's not a brand new concept. However, about 2 weeks ago, there was a Reddit post about the Apple's older model phones being slower. Like, apparently, Apple customers have been really digging their heels in the most about it lately, or more so than usual lately, because this Reddit post basically exploded on the internet, and there was so much commentary going on about it that Apple, ended up releasing a statement, And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, this is 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I know. I've been caught up. I've been doing. I last minute Christmas shopped. Okay, so I had to skim over some things. But anyway, Apple released a statement. And that's how serious this Reddit post was, that Apple actually released an official statement on their own website about this. And because after the Reddit post blew up, this guy named John Poole, he did benchmark tests. He worked. I guess he's from Primate Labs. He did benchmark tests, and results were loosely interpreted by internet users. However, the loose interpretation, the part of the interpretation that was true, that this was scientific confirmation that Apple's older model phones were going much slower than they should have been going. And so, like I said, the Reddit post snowballed, and they was giving out a lot of big old facts too, including the fact they gave you a way like how to check your phone's clock speed, and it's with an app called CPU Dasher X, and it was free, but now it costs $1. And you can also go to Geekbench.com and get something called a Geekbench score. And it kind of helps you gauge the performance of your phone more or less. But all in all, the Reddit post got so much heat that Apple, like I said, had to release an official statement on their own website. To much everyone's surprise, they actually didn't dance around it a whole lot. They actually went on ahead and confirmed that yes, they did do things that augment the speed of their phones. So, for like 3 days, the internet started to freak out. Because, of course, everybody had clickbait titles on their shows and blogs or whatever it says. Apple confirms that they slowed their phone down. But you gotta go and read the actual statement. Because they are owning up to that. However, the thing that is what I'm paying attention to is the fact that they're reasoning why. I always look for the why. I always wonder why because I want to know why. So, turns out, according to them, because you know me, I give it 50-50 on whether it's true or not. However, I give them the benefit of the doubt until otherwise proven right now, because it is Apple. So, but they're basically saying that they're doing it in order to preserve the battery and help the overall longevity of the phone and shit. And it does, and I will admit, even with that being said, it still does seem like a little bit of bullshit. It's almost like, when you catch somebody cheating, and the first thing you do is say, wait, I know what it looks like, but it's not what it looks like. Well, Apple, it fucking looks like, you got somebody else's dick in your mouth, so your explanation better be good. You know what I mean? And then this statement, it's kind of like them saying, I'm doing it to make our relationship better. You got somebody else's dick in your mouth to make our relationship better? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Off subject. However, and I will post a link to this in the post for this episode of the show on spacewhat'shere.com. So you could definitely go to spacewhat'shere.com, SPAYCEWUZHERE.com. And you can get the link to the Apple statement. But the truth of the matter is they did augment the speed of select iPhone models, the 6, the 6 Plus, the 6S, and the SE. Because according to a lot of people, this hasn't been a big issue on the iPhone 5 or earlier. Theirs pretty much is going about the way it already was. However, you got to interject the fact that those phones aren't capable of all of the same things that the newer model iPhones are. So it's pretty arguable that their battery isn't being taxed as hard anyway. But they did say they did that to those phones and will continue to do so in future models. So even if you don't like it, they gonna keep doing this shit, bro. But they claim it's supposed to be good for the battery's health for overall longevity over the life of the phone because, and here is when they start dropping them big old facts. Over the time of the lithium-ion battery life, it does degrade the abilities, the battery's ability to retain a charge. Like after a while, it doesn't hold as much as it originally does because of the literal age of it. It's hot, it swells, and it only has so many charge cycles in each battery before things don't operate quite as well anyway. And we also have to take into consideration that certain tasks are understandably use more battery power than others. So, what you got to get is with iPhone passing out phones that you actually need tools in order to change a battery for. Yeah. That's gonna be a problem in the future, isn't it? It's almost as if, hey, this is the thing you guys should have really thought through more so ahead of time, but I guess with a product like an iPhone, they're probably trying to push it out as fast as possible to get the most capital they can, or rather capitalize off of the timing the best they can. But all in all, yeah, it is a lithium-ion battery, and that does mean that over time it does degrade. I've been having a cell phone since 2003. And almost all cell phones with lithium-ion battery do have this issue. It's just that with iPhones, you need tools to open it. So it's a little bit of a hassle to change the battery in it, you know? And not to mention, when you have alternatives that allow you to change the battery just by, snapping off the back of the case, a lot of people would rather just get other phones. But the biggest problem here is, which I think the most of cell phone customers agree with, is that the batteries cost too much. Like, even on Android, the batteries are like $80. So it's like an arm and a leg to replace. And with an iPhone, not only do you have to buy a new battery, but you got to pay them in order to put it in without voiding your warranty. You do it yourself, you void the warranty. You get somebody else to do it, you void the warranty. Is void the warranty a fucking tongue twister? Void the warranty. Void the warranty. Void the warranty. Void the... You know what I'm saying. Anyway, so you gotta go to them to get it put in and to buy the battery. And let's not go without mentioning that it costs $75 to do that with an iPhone. And I think that's the biggest problem. That's why I think about maybe a week or between a week and 3 days after Apple released their statement, they kind of released an apology. Like, even though, they gave pretty decent reasoning behind why they slowed the phones down, because essentially what they did is they slowed it down during tasks that took up more battery power in order for the phone to continue operating without turning off. Because what was happening was the phones would just turn off. Like, your iPhone would just turn off. If you did too much with it, it would just shake up and turn off. And I think I had a buddy with an iPhone, and I remember a period of time where this was happening to a lot of iPhones. And I used to crack up because it used to look hilarious. Because it would look like the screen would have a fucking seizure. And then all the shit would just fucking fall right off the screen. Like, I would see all the app squares like fucking Legos. And some asshole just kicked them all over. And then the phone would just go black. So, I think what Apple was doing, was slowing down your phone during the activities that took over the most battery power, and then that way it wouldn't make the phone short out basically and turn off, and then you would be able to continue using your phone. And because it was doing that, the battery that you were using would last longer. Because the reason I mentioned replacement batteries is because, the battery is a very integral part of the power management system of pretty much all MacBook products. Not MacBook, all Apple products. Like MacBooks, iPads, iPhones, iPods, iMacs, all the Apple products. The battery is a really, really important part of the power management system of the device. So when the battery goes, the whole phone suffers. When you put a brand new battery in, most Apple users will tell you that your device acts as if you had just bought it most of the time. So after all that, Apple kind of released an apology. kind of saying, we sorry we misled you, because there's a lot of lawsuits. They start getting lawsuits left and right, basically for false advertisement, because they didn't really announce to us that they were going to do that or explain why, and not to mention there's a lot of skepticism behind the why. So, naturally, people started suing. They started releasing apology. First they had the statement, and then they had an apology. And along with the apology, they dropped the price of iPhone batteries and repair to what, like $29 bucks? I think it's $29 right now. So huge discounts going on. But how long is that gonna last? Is that the new permanent price, or they just doing that to kind of smooth over? Kind of like how when BP spilled all that oil in the water and shit, just start having all those My Bad commercials and shit. Then they're gonna get parodied on South Park. Oh man, I'll probably be looking some more into that story, but for right now, that's the gist of what's going on. And more nerd news. In case anyone didn't know, there was a little hack going on that artists were using, because I can't remember if I covered this or not, or was this before I even started the podcast, but we all know that now, or we should know, that certain YouTube plays now count towards Billboard chart position. Like, they use that now. So even if it's user-generated content with your song in it, I think that does count towards the spins of the song. Well, because of that, and you know how it always goes, someone comes in and tries to, manipulate the system. And so artists like Post Malone and Migos had uploaded tracks with just the hook of the song in them before the songs actually came out, in order to help the songs begin to chart. Like, as soon as the song came, like, if you don't know, the song Rockstar by Post Malone featuring 21 Savage debuted at number 2 on the Billboard charts. And that was partially due to the fact that before the song actually came out, they had uploaded a 5-minute track of just a loop of the chorus or hook of the song, and they were just playing back to back. And that, since that counted, the moment the song was released, it already had accumulated all these views and plays. And Migos did that as well with the song Motorsport, and that, along with all the controversy going on with the two artists Cardi B and Nicki Minaj on the song, it helped make that song chart in the stratosphere immediately. Well, now YouTube has found a way to end that hack, so they've made it to where tracks that specifically do that no longer count towards chart position. So that way things are a little bit more even keeled as far as the playing field goes for, the way that songs make the Billboard charts and are counted as hits altogether. So that is our nerd news update for the week. We're going to get into a little bit, it's kind of a nerd news, but it's not really. It's hashtag nerd money. We talk about the Bitcoin, you know what I'm saying? We've been going in on the Bitcoin the last couple of episodes because, it's like future money, yada, 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 cryptocurrency, decentralized monetary system that the government is trying to get control of by hijacking shit like net neutrality. Do not believe that it is a coincidence that the Bitcoins begin to explode and suddenly net neutrality becomes such an issue, I'm not going to get into the politics on that at this moment because I don't have all the time for that in this episode, but you bet your bottom dollar in the future Urban Nerd Weekly, we will get into that. And in order to know that, you guys got to follow me on all the social networks, on the Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. All of them are Space Was Here, SPAYCEWUZHERE. And if you add a .com to that, that's my website. That's where you can find all that. If you want to find anything going on with me, just hit the website. But anyway, getting into hashtag nerd money, the Bitcoin has been having a little action going on. It's been rising and rising and rising over the course of the year. It started off, they made this biggest jump from 3 to 10 grand a share. and it's steadily been rising and rising. We're going between 15 and 20 grand a share. But over the holiday season, it took quite a bit of a dive. And I'd like to believe it's because, people are probably, not doing as much business during the holiday season, which I think a lot of people might not have looked at. Because there was a bit of a freak out, but, it's the holiday season. It's still a new currency. And, a lot of people aren't doing as much business. They're doing a lot of shopping. A lot of people are becoming, even business people are becoming more consumers during the holiday season. However, it's back on the rise again. Like already the year just begun, and it's already back on the rise. Especially with one of the heads at PayPal has been making some investment, and one of the initial Facebook investors, Peter Thiel, has been buying up shares left and right. And not to mention, more and more vendors are beginning to accept Bitcoin as an official form of currency for their businesses. So, like I said, keep an eye out for, what's going on with Bitcoin. We're going to be doing more Bitcoin news on our hashtag Nerd Money segment. So be looking out for that next week on next week's episode. But I was just giving you guys a little update on what's going on. I'm probably going to do this thing where on the YouTube channel because I got the Space YouTube channel that I've been working on forever. This is going to be the YouTube channel, much like this podcast that I actually get right. So, I've been developing it slowly over time. However, the show is now available on YouTube on that channel. So, I'm not officially promoting the channel officially because I don't have a URL yet. But you can search the show on YouTube if you like to listen on YouTube. Because I got a good couple of friends that have told me they like to listen to podcasts on YouTube, and then that makes sense. YouTube's really convenient, so you guys can search Urban Nerd Weekly and Space on there if you want to find it. Urban Nerd Weekly and my name SPAYCE, and it'll definitely pop up, and you can subscribe to the channel to get the newer episodes, so that way you won't have to search until I can get the show's rankings up, which you guys can help with by watching it and playing it on any of the places that you like to listen to and all that good stuff. But all in all, you could definitely listen on YouTube, and I would definitely be going on my Bitcoin journey on YouTube. I'm going to actually invest some money into Bitcoin on my own, and then I'm going to make some video segments, and I'm going to call it hashtag Nerd Money, and it's going to, kind of be like a little extension of the podcast. So you guys will definitely be able to watch me make my money moves with my nerd money. And, if it looks like something that works out, then, you guys can use what I learned on there to help you guys out. And, you guys can leave comments and hit me up and let me know how your nerd money journey is going. And, we could collaborate like that. And so that, that's just another reason for you guys to make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel when it does come out. But that's all on hashtag Nerd Money. Speaking of ways to listen to the show, I happened to get an Echo Dot for Christmas, which was an awesome present. Thanks, stepmom. Or as I like to call her, 2.0, or the sequel sometimes. I got an Echo Dot from Amazon, Amazon Echo Dot. And of course, Alexa's on there. So, kind of just to be smart aleck, I'm kind of going through and I see they got ways to listen to a podcast on there. So I kind of downloaded it, and it's called a skill on there. It's weird. They're called skills, and you have to get one. And then there was one on there that it was a podcasting app and or a podcast skill. And you download it because you get an app on your phone or something in order to be able to control it. You can probably get it on other devices too, but most people get it on their phone because Alexa lets you send texts and receive messages, and she'll read them, and phone calls and da-da-da-da. They ain't paying me, so I ain't finna give y'all an official product rundown. But this is my review, and I give it, 4 glasses push-ups out of 5. But just to kind of be a smart aleck, I was like, hey Alexa, play Urban Nerd Weekly. And she did. It was pretty awesome. The show started playing. The Merry Nerdmas episode started playing. And I was like, wow, that was like another little Christmas present for me because my little smart remark actually worked. I couldn't believe it. But I said all that to say, Echo Dot, Amazon Echo Dot gets 4 out of 5 glasses push-ups. And I encourage you guys to listen on Alexa. Also, I would like to know all of everybody who's listening's New Year's goals. Like, what are your New Year's New Year's goals? Like, leave in the comments. You can comment on the SoundCloud on this track. You can leave on my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you are, Just hit me up. Leave your New Year's resolutions or your New Year's goals. And I want to read them. And then, I think the best ones I would like to, give somebody a shout out to on the next episode about it. I think that would be pretty cool, right? Getting ready to wrap things up. But one more thing I did want to hit on before I got out, because since I was doing some music-ish news with the whole YouTube thing, I also wanted to say 2 more things that I also indulged in that I want to let everybody know about, and that is my guy DJ Drama. He's not my guy, not like one of my homies, but he's one of my favorite entertainers as DJs go. And he dropped this song. First off, he calls himself Mr. Thanksgiving, and what better Thanksgiving present than rapper Young Dro's Day 3, which you didn't know is the 3rd installment of Young Dro and DJ Drama's mixtape in the Gangsta Grill series. Young Dro had, of course, Day 1 back when Shoulder Lean came out. Then he came with Day 2 a few years back. This year we got Day 3, and it's awesome. It's a 5 mixtape. That shit 5, bro. If you looking for mixtapes to check out, if you a tune junkie, #tune junkie like I am, you gotta check out Young Dro Day 3, as well as DJ Drama came with that on Thanksgiving, and then he hit us with the whammy on Christmas with him and Lil Wayne doing Dedication 6, and the internet imploded when the announcement came out that Dedication 6, aka D6, was coming out on Christmas, so everybody was anticipating. I think even on Christmas Eve, like 6 of the tracks from the mixtape got leaked. The mixtape went a frenzy, and I, of course, indulged. I had to listen because I am a Wayne head. I've been a Wayne head since like 98. You know what I'm saying? Even back in the Hot Boy days, I always thought Lil Wayne was the best just because he was the youngest. And I was like the youngest out of all my friends. So I felt like, he was like representing for dudes like me. And plus, he just fired rapping. Alright? So, if you're gonna listen to some mixtapes, I would definitely suggest 2 Gangsta Grills mixtapes. Day 3 by Young Dro, Dedication 6, Lil Wayne. Both done by DJ Drama. And yeah, that was this week's episode of Urban Nerd Weekly, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Please tell a friend to tell a friend. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on all the social networks. Hit me up on the website, spacewashere.com. Make sure you follow the show. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, everything. Please, please, please. If you want to support the movement, fuck with your boy. You know what I mean? I got merch coming soon. But until then, Space was here. But now I'm